Hey, and welcome to episode number 10 of Final Guys, where tonight we're going to discuss Hounds of Love. Ooh! I'm Hunter Shea, joined today only by my co-host, Jason Brant.
Feels a little less douchey in here without Jack, doesn't it?
Wow, that's what you guys said last week about me.
It's amazing. It's almost like I don't like either one of you.
And you know what? I was so nice. I introduced you normally, didn't call you a douche,
I didn't call you a douche. I called Jack a douche.
and then you called Jack a douche. See? There we
Deserves
go.
it.
There's always a douche. Jack is off. He's into infantilism, so he's getting his diaper changed somewhere down in the city. I think I don't know what he's up to right now. But last week when I wasn't there, you guys talked about how civil it was, and I guess we've already started this off completely uncivil.
Yeah, I think we see who the asshole is here.
Look, it's either me, maybe it is me, or
Yeah,
or maybe I just bring it out in you. Maybe it's you. It's just you like to brag on me.
I think you bring it out in all of us.
Okay. Well, since Jack's not here, he did prepare some news for us. I prepared some news. So let's combine both newses and have two GNUs, because no GNUs is good GNUs. So let me start with what Jack pulled up for us here, and you'll love this one. Uh, Universal, because of the great success of The Mummy, they have decided to help their franchise of rebooting the Universal monsters by recruiting Channing Tatum to take the lead in their Van Helsing reboot.
Channing Tatum as Van Helsing?
I guess as Van Helsing or a helper, but he's about what 40 years too young to be Van Helsing.
Yeah,
30.
I don't know that he's gritty enough, you know?
Well, maybe he'll be like Magic Van Helsing. He'll take his
How
shirt off.
many times is he take his shirt off in this movie is the question.
He could be the most buff, naked Van Helsing of all time.
Needed a little more sex appeal for Van Helsing.
So, I mean, we're guessing. Hollywood Reporter hasn't said exactly what role he's going to take, but to me, take the lead tells me he's going to be Van Helsing. So and the original was supposed to be Tom Cruise. We don't have a date on when that's coming out, but
Was it
get
supposed
you
to be
ready.
Tom Cruise? I remember that was the rumor, but by the end, when he was the creature thing at the end of The Mummy, I kind of figured maybe it wasn't supposed to be him.
Yeah, supposedly he was courted back in 2012 to play Van Helsing,
Oh,
but he
geez.
said, "No, I want to do a really bad mummy movie." And I said, "Okay,
You're our man.
no problem, Tom. It's all yours." So I don't know who they're appealing to. It's certainly not us. Maybe they're trying to get the ladies into the theater. But there we go.
Whatever.
All right, all right, all right. This one I'm interested in. They're going to make another version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Okay.
Now, the book has been out for 62 years. My all-time favorite was the original in 1955, which to me is
Great movie.
yeah, it's perfect. But I also like the remake in 1978 with Donald Sutherland.
78 is actually my preferred version, but I love both.
78's creepier.
That's why I like it. It's legitimately creepy as shit. The one in the 50s is a great movie, but it still has that kind of 50s pacing,
Right.
kind of quirkiness to it, but
Yeah.
it's still great.
Everything in the 70s was dark, and their version was dark. And when they were pod people and they opened their mouths, like, oh,
Oh, the last shot of that movie is one of my favorite in any movie ever. It's like shit in your pants moment.
that when we got Netflix, that was the very first movie that I got mailed to us was Invasion of the Body Snatchers 78 version. There was also another version in 1993, Body Snatchers.
That's the one on the military base for the most part. Like the end is on the military base.
Okay. Then there was
Right? Isn't it a military
2007's
base?
The
Or
Invasion.
am I just remembering there's a lot of military in it?
I'm sure I
I
watched it.
didn't
I don't
like that
remember
one
it
that
at
much.
all. And I know I didn't see The Invasion. I liked the first two. That's good enough.
Everybody hated the one from '08. I didn't hate it, but it was like, I don't know, it was kind of like The Mummy. Like,
Was that
no.
Nicole Kidman?
Yes, Nicole Kidman and James Bond. What the hell's his name? Daniel Craig.
Oh, well,
It's not terrible, but
right. It had
eh,
star power.
yeah,
That means nothing.
just didn't really need to be there. So let's do another one.
Well, the good news is this one is going to be written by David Leslie, who wrote The Conjuring 2. I know that's your favorite.
Yeah, yeah. I don't hate that movie either, but
Those are fun movies. Those are like fun. They're fun house movies, I think.
yeah, I it'll blow my skirt up like a lot of people, but I like the first one actually. It's just the second one was, I think it doesn't help that the people the true story is based on drive me insane.
Yeah.
So
Not to mention, it's not based anything remotely on the true story.
what?
I think the Warrens were really there for about 3 hours in real life. Like they had nothing to do with it. They probably went there. Ed Warren probably had a heart attack like he normally did on investigations. Did I ever tell you when we used to go see the Warrens?
What's that?
We used to see the Warrens when they used to do a monthly kind of talk at this haunted place, the Carousel Inn, the Carriage Inn. It was in Connecticut. And Ed Warren in real life was nothing like you see this handsome man on screen. He looked like a potato. It was kind of like this dumpy, and he had this kind of like rough kind of way of talking. So he was talking about they were investigating some French Canadian doppelganger, and there was this farmhouse, and this family was being harassed by this farmer's doppelganger who would lift tractors over his head. So they're trying to exorcise this person, as they would always do. This is the natural thing. This doppelganger exorcise him. So Ed is going, so we're exercising the guy, and he's in the bed, and I started to feel a pain in my chest, and I knew I was having a heart attack. And my friend, we would front load before we went to these things. He raises his hand in the Q&A, and he says, Ed, is there ever a point where you get used to this and you don't have heart attacks whenever you see something paranormal? Oh, they wanted to kill us.
Did you ever see that documentary about Amityville? I think it was Amityville Horror. And you see the inside of their house, and there's like goddamn chickens in the kitchen and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Lorraine still has the chickens there.
What horrible nonsense is that?
They're haunted chickens. They're keeping them.
How many diseases do they have? Like, you don't want them shitting on your kitchen table.
Well, yeah, because they're putting their butts right up on that little cage and just like rocketing out those pellets all over the kitchen floor.
And these people are having movies based on their lives.
I know. Oh, God bless the Warrens. I wish I had their career. Oh, so another invasion of the body snatchers. Here's something. This concerns me. It's very interesting to me. Guillermo del Toro. I love anything he does.
You have my interest.
He is partnering with Patron to make the coolest tequila ever. I love Patron. If I'm going to drink a heavy drink and just sit there and sip it, Patron is my drink. It's going to be called, well, let's see. They have Patron times Guillermo del Toro. It's a meeting of two masters, one of dark films and one of tequila. And it's coming out soon. It's going to be nestled in the deep red interior. The bottle contains 750 milliliters of blended extra añejo tequila and 100 milliliters aged orange liqueur. Oh, I'm not so crazy about the orange liqueur. Now, here, I'm going to buy you a bottle for Labor Day because it's going to be shipping September 1st. It's only $475 a bottle.
I will be anticipating that coming to my door.
It comes in a bitchin' box. It's got a skull on it. The bottle looks like a Patron bottle. And it looks like it looks kind of like blood.
$475? What's he get, like a $350 cut?
Oh, no. Patron can be really expensive.
I thought it was like $75 or something.
That's pretty expensive, like for like small bottles. Although I did find a big bottle. It was like the size of my chest, and it was like $200.
Okay, so double that, and
yeah,
you get a quarter of the size. There you go. Sounds like
I think the $475 bottle, you get 2 shots out of it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's like Saturday night for me.
Look, when I saw that big bottle, I said to the guy at the counter, I said, I can't buy that. I'll get in a lot of trouble. He says, your wife will get mad. I'm like, no. I said, I'm allergic to tequila. He said, you are? I said, yeah, every time I drink a lot, I break out in handcuffs. Rim shot.
Oh, nice.
All right. So for the big tequila lover in your life, go grab that September 1st. The other one, and I don't know how since we've been doing some superheroes lately, I figured let's do to me, one of the coolest superheroes that kind of matches what we love, Spawn. Were you a big fan of Spawn?
I read Spawn a ton in the 90s.
Me too. And was first in line for the movie. I kind of liked it. I thought it could be way better.
The effects really hurt it. Even at the time, they didn't look good.
No. But at least he wasn't all CGI either.
No, the guy they got to play, Michael J. White, was great. It just, the movie was meh.
John Leguizamo, to me, was that was a swing and a miss. I don't know.
It was weird casting.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Blumhouse is producing the new Spawn.
I'm in.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Todd McFarlane's been trying to find a home for this movie for years, and his caveat has been that he wanted to be the writer, producer, and director, and he hasn't found somebody that would give him that control because he knows the first one could have been better, and it looks like they're giving him, full control. They say, here, take the wheel, do what you got to do.
I wonder what the budget's going to be because they usually do $5 million or less, and there's no way you could do Spawn for $5 million.
No. Maybe they'll jack it up to 25 and see what
that'd be big for them.
It'd be enormous for them. But I don't know. How much money do they charge for those Conjuring flicks?
That's a good question. I'm sure they're getting more and more expensive, but that's also a built-in audience at this point. I'm sure the first one wasn't that much.
No, but yeah, I guess they weren't big stars, so you didn't have to pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm psyched for that.
I'm in. Anything Blumhouse does, I'll check it out. They don't always hit a home run, but they're usually hitting a double. I don't know why I'm hitting baseball references.
You're in a baseball mood there?
No, I don't even give a shit about baseball.
What if they took over like The Mummy 2 with Tom Cruise? Would you be in?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Really?
You know we're gonna go see the rest of these movies anyway, so it would just be nice if they were done well.
That's why when Jack sent me this thing, I saw the Universal reboot. I'm going, oh, please let it mean they're not doing this. And then I see Magic Mike as Van Helsing.
They're killing it overseas, man. They're still making money. So,
what happened to the rest of the world?
I think when English is your second language, you maybe aren't understanding how awful some of this shit is.
You know what? That's probably what the French say about us loving all their movies.
I'm sure that's what the whole world says when they see Transformers is crushing it. They're like, these fucking Americans.
Oh, my God.
Of course, they all love it, so yeah. I don't know.
Please, the rest of the world, don't blame us for Transformers. Not all of us are all in on that.
No, I was like half in on the first one, and then the second one made me want to kill myself.
I was zero in, but I saw the first 3 in the drive-in because they were part of the double feature, and I was damned if I would leave.
I have actually watched them all. Kind of like I've watching all the Fast and Furious movies because at this point, I just get a kick out of them because they're so ridiculous. I cannot understand. People think these are good movies, so I enjoy it in that regard.
Hey, they make money, which just...
They make a ton of money, and I don't know, man. I'm missing something.
We're getting too old for this shit. That's the problem. We don't understand. And we shouldn't.
I'm not even a Michael Bay hater. I've liked some of his movies. Just the Transformers movies just don't make sense.
No. Did Michael Bay do The Bay?
The found footage movie?
Yeah.
No.
Somebody big did The Bay.
It was a well-known director, yeah, but it wasn't Michael Bay.
Oh, that would be kind of cool if Bay did The Bay.
Half the movie wasn't in slow-mo, dude. Come on.
Okay. Well, that's all I have for the news. Oh, last one. Sorry. Ash vs. Evil Dead comes out Blu-ray, DVD, August 22nd.
Oh, nice. I still haven't seen the second season yet at all. I waited to binge watch it, and then I never binge watched it.
Season 2 has a couple of scenes that will just make you lose your lunch. It was awesome.
Saw the dick fighting sequence. Someone sent me that, and
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And Lee Majors is in it. He's his dad.
No, oh, that's perfect casting. I heard the second season was better than the first, so
it was. Like
Good.
the first episode, I wasn't cool. I was like, eh. And then it just kicked into high gear. By episode 3, forget it. It's just batshit crazy.
All right.
So August 22nd, that's the news. Now, I know you have done nothing but sit around with your thumb up your ass all week long watching movies.
That is correct.
And I had my thumb up my ass too all last week, so
you were on vacation. I was just drinking at my house by myself.
Yeah, that's sad. I was drinking with my kids and my mom. It's weird.
I think I'd rather drink by myself.
Yeah, some days. That's why I drink so much.
So I did get to see what Jack and I had talked about watching, Steelmanville Road, but he made us promise we would not talk about it until next week.
You can't, because I made my wife watch Bad Ben this afternoon because we're going to watch that movie after this is over.
Okay.
That's
so that is saved. But I've got some thoughts on that movie, so I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
So I checked out a couple other things. I watched on Shudder a show called Rapt, and so Shudder has this thing where they have short films in a series, almost like a TV series, but instead of 40-minute episodes, they're 5 or 6. I don't know, it felt like something for the Twitter generation, but I kind of dug it. You could just plow right through it. It's called Rapt, and it's essentially a woman who is a paramedic. She's called out because a woman goes to a playground, pours gasoline all over herself, and gets ready to light herself on fire in front of kids. And the paramedic goes out there, and they're wondering what's this woman's deal. She's saying some weird stuff, and she gets out a fire extinguisher because she thinks the woman is going to light herself on fire, and then everyone disappears around her, around the paramedic. Everyone's gone. So I'm guessing, I'm not a doctor, but I'm guessing Rapt is short for rapture. So
I was thinking unwrapped, about the candy and the food.
So for about the 40 minutes or so there is this, I don't know, maybe there's 30 minutes. It's just her trying to figure out what the hell's going on. There's some pretty interesting stuff that happens. I did not see if there was a second season because the ending of this was so abrupt. I was not pleased. But up until the ending, I really dug it, and it's not going to take anybody long to watch it. So I definitely would suggest checking out Rapt on Shudder. Did
you ever see that Rapture movie with Mimi Rogers from the 90s?
I don't know.
She plays kind of like a lost soul, and just is not spiritually grounded. And you think it's just watching some woman just have a crappy life, and then it turns into the actual rapture. It's kind of cool.
Oh.
I think it's called The Rapture.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, so I'll just go with yes.
Yeah, say yes. Call me king and say yes.
I believe this next one was on Amazon Prime. It's called The Demonic Tapes. It's a UK film, ultra low budget, all takes place in one apartment, from what I remember. And basically a guy finds a series of audio tapes in his closet. And he starts listening to them, and he's hearing the woman who lived there before him. And she's going through all these ghostly encounters and I think seances and stuff. And he's basically listening to it. And as he's listening, some things start happening in his house as well. And then he starts to get some weird crossover. And it's really low budget. The reactions of this main guy to some of the things that happen are incredibly unrealistic. If you're hearing stomping above you and no one's there, you're probably not going to just look up the stairs and be like, yeah, whatever.
Wait, this sounds like the guy in Bad Ben.
With less swearing.
Fuck!
God damn it.
Tell me that guy doesn't remind you of, remember...
Jack Campisi.
Oh, I think he wears the same outfit to bed. The guy, the big tall comedian, he kind of talks like this.
Yeah.
He's on Big Bang Theory every now and then as the geologist.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Hi.
So anyway, the demonic tapes, some pretty cool stuff in that. Again, you can tell they didn't have any money. I think there's 2 actors in it, and it's mostly one for the whole time. There's some interesting stuff. It's not the best movie you're going to see, but it's one of those where I'd like to see the people involved maybe have a budget, because the idea was pretty interesting. The execution was decent. It's worth a watch. It's incredibly low rated on IMDb, and I don't think it deserves that low a rating, but I don't know. Maybe I just lost my mind. But
maybe people confused it with the Vatican tapes.
Moving on. So
he has nothing to say about that.
No, I only vaguely remember that movie. I think there's a reason. I watched a movie I'd seen before, and I hadn't watched it in a couple years, and I thought, I'm going to check it out again. And it's Lake Mungo, which is on Shudder. It is a mockumentary type movie about a girl who drowns, and her family is not handling it well. And they start seeing the girl in their family pictures and videos they're taking around the house. They see her ghost in the background. And this fake documentary is kind of them trying to figure out, is she in the house? What's happening? It's kind of a mystery type thing. It's an unsettling movie. It moves slowly, which, if you have the patience, is to its benefit. But if you're Jack Campisi, you're probably going to be very upset. He seems to think every movie's about 20 minutes too long, and he would definitely think this one is. But there's some creepy stuff in it.
You're the jerk. See, this is it. You're initiating all the jerkiness.
You bring it out of me.
Yeah, there we go. Blame it on
me.
No,
actually, I think Jack would like this one. It's a solid movie. It's Australian. My biggest complaint is the end. There's a really cool moment, and then after that, it just fizzles. And I never felt that punch. Which I don't know. I looking at reviews, I think I might be in the minority there, but it's still a really cool movie. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and when looking up some reviews of this to see what other people thought, I realized again, people are insane. There is an incredible amount of people who thought this movie was a real documentary, and
oh my god,
it blows my mind. It blows my mind. You can look it up on IMDb and find the actors' names.
That doesn't mean anything.
It really doesn't. So,
IMDb is fake news.
So Lake Mungo on Shudder, people. It is good stuff. All right, I got 2 more quick things here. I read a book based on an episode of Monster Men you guys had by JH Moncrieff.
Oh.
City of Ghosts.
What'd you think?
I think she's a good writer. And my dog just pushed the door open and came in. So this could get interesting. She's such a knucklehead.
Put the peanut butter away.
Oh, you son of a bitch. She's a great writer. She has an interesting way with words. Her characters are really good. This is the first in a series.
There's a second one, definitely.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see exactly how many there were, but it's free right now, so you can't go wrong, people. Just hop on Amazon, grab it. JH Moncrieff, City of Ghosts.
Get the free one, then buy the second.
And then I did want to mention one other thing I started reading last night, and it was by this fellow who I'm apparently friends with on Facebook. I don't remember it ever happening, but Tim Meyer, who I believe was with you at Sam Hain?
No, but we are friends. In fact, I just had a thing with him on Instagram today where he says Diary of the Dead is going to be a classic, and I told him there's something wrong with him.
Never mind. Fuck him. Fuck his book.
He's watching right now, too. Hi, Tim.
Fuck you, Tim. That movie sucks. So I actually had started reading this book a couple weeks ago, and I have a thing when I start reading a book and I have a feeling it's the person's first novel and it's in first person, because almost everyone's first novel is written in first person. And I just had a feeling, oh man, I'm not going to like this.
Right.
It was big, huge paragraphs, which is something I'm often adverse to if I don't know the author.
It had many, many words.
Honestly, You know, when a lot of people first start writing, they are way too descriptive. Way too descriptive. And if I know this is your first book and the paragraphs are that goddamn big and it's a first person, I'm thinking, So I had kind of put it on the shelf, and last night, the cover is just, I really like it. I thought, what the hell, I'm going to read it again. God damn it, I read like 30% of it last night. I was reading till like 3 in the morning, which is why I look like shit today. It's really good. I'm liking this book. It's outstanding. So good job, Tim. I'm looking forward to reading the rest.
It is.
And yeah, I've had it forever. I think I bought it maybe when he was on Monster Men. I'm not sure. He was on Monster Men, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think he was. Oh my God, I can't remember now. It's been over 100 episodes.
Anyway, that's Tim Meyer. Was it House of Mirrors?
House of Mirrors. And check out his summer release, Sharkwater Beach, through Severed Press. Just in time for Shark Week.
Beach?
Yes, it's really good. Huh. I got an advanced preview of it. It is the balls. It's fun.
Well, good book, Tim Meyer. Apparently your taste in movies is dog shit, but you're a good writer.
He just wrote that movie is amazing. He's clinging to that. That's the hill you want to die on, Tim.
And you're going to die on it.
Yeah, you sure are. All right, are you all done? Are you exhausted now?
That's it.
He's wiped out. Okay. I actually watched a lot because I was just sitting around drinking. And
hey, me too.
Yeah, I would just be outside drinking all day, then go sit inside with my laptop on my lap, put my headphones on. So here we go. I've decided, because I've been crapping on Italian giallo movies for so long, I said, let me just go back and let me look at what's some of the ones that people think are classics. So I watched Short Night of Glass Dolls. I think it was 1972. And immediately it starts with a groundskeeper finding a guy's body laying in the grass. But the guy is physically dead, but mentally he's still alive. Everything that's going on around him, and he's like willing his hands to move, and he can't. And the whole movie is his trying to remember how he got there. And within that mystery, you find out that he was seeing a woman who also disappeared. And while he was alive, he's trying to find out the mystery of how she disappeared. It's cool. It's riveting. It's a mystery wrapped in a mystery. And every now and then they go back to, he's in the morgue, and then he's got a friend who's a doctor, and he says, his body temperature is not going down. Essentially, he's dead, but he's still warm. So he's doing all these kinds of tests and all these experiments to try to see if they could revive his body, even though he's been dead and in a freezer for a couple of days at this point. And the whole thing is him trying to solve this mystery in his mind and will himself to wake up in time before they do an autopsy on him. Okay. So it's not bloody. It's cool. It's a great mystery. It made sense. I think it's 1972. Short Night of Glass Dolls, which was based on a story called Short Night of Glass Butterflies, which makes total sense. I don't know why they changed it to dolls. There's no dolls in this. But whatever,
All right.
Maybe Dino De Laurentiis came in and go, hey, make it a dolls. Dolls sounds better. After that, I went back to my favorite anthology from the 80s, Creepshow.
The best.
I was in Bridgeton, Maine, which is where Stephen King lived for a number of years, and he's still there. I've run into him in town, and I figured, let me watch a movie that honors Stephen King and George Romero all in one, and you can't beat that. And I showed it to my daughter for the first time ever. She thought it was awesome. I didn't realize how long it is.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she's only 17, so, I'm trying to educate her a bit at a time.
I often get that one and some of the parts in the second one mixed up, because the second one wasn't nearly as good, but it still had some killer segments to it. Yes,
it did. The first one, her favorite turned out to be the one where Ted Danson is
that's good.
Cheating with that married woman. He buries him up to his neck in the sand. That was her favorite. And the one she didn't like was the crate with the monster under the stairs. She thought that was boring.
That's like everyone's favorite one.
I see your face, and when I watch it now, I go, it is kind of boring. It's very slow, believe it or not.
Is it dated?
A little bit.
I kind of wonder. I'd seen it just a couple years ago, and I remember feeling like it was a little dated, but still
Yeah,
great.
Jordy Verrill, Stephen King. It's so goofy, but it's fun as hell. And my favorite always was and still is the very last one with the, that billionaire schmuck in his little sanitary apartment with the bugs taking over.
Mm-hmm. Is the raft in the second one?
Second one.
Second one. Oh, see, that's I always get it mixed up. I love that one too.
The Raft is great. It was a great short story too.
Yep, it's good
You
shit.
can't ruin the Raft. So after Creepshow, I went into, I think it was on Shudder. I watched The Final Terror. This is early 80s. It's just trying to make a quick money grab on a slasher flick with teens in the woods. It does star a very young Daryl Hannah. Baby looks like she's 19, says about 7 words in the whole movie. It also has Joe Pantoliano, if you remember him from The Sopranos. So
Hell
Joey
yeah.
Pants. And he plays kind of like this creepy jerkwad forest ranger. And the star is the great Adrian Zmed.
Who?
Which, so you might be too young. Adrian Zmed was on Dance Fever and Solid Gold. And I think he was on TJ Hooker for a while.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, he had like real nice puffy hair and just, he was like the good looking Italian dude. And it's a bunch of forest rangers. They're going out to the middle of the woods and they could just grab some local girls for some reason. I think to show them the ropes or whatever. And there's a killer in the woods knocking them off one by one. It's nothing special. The only cool thing about it, the music's kind of cool. It's cool to see Joey Pants and Daryl Hannah. But I think the forest where they were, it looks like the forest they used in Predator.
Really?
It just had that same dark primeval. I could swear there were some trees going. I think Arnold should be right behind that tree right about now.
Were all the hills like this? Because that was the thing with Predator, man. They were like, that was rough.
Yeah, this was just deep in the forest, and it gave me a Predator vibe, kind of like the color palette that they used. Not sure about the aspect ratio, but the overall
I'm sure it
look,
was very wide,
super wide, like a $5 hooker.
Mm.
So after that movie, I last night sat down to Netflix and I watched the documentary. And I don't know if you know this guy. It's called The Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek Story. Which for people who aren't tinfoil hat wearing folks, Stan Romanek is one of the most prolific UFO abductees of all time.
Spotters, abductees.
He's a UFO spotter and he's an abductee. He gets a little bit of everything. He has 195 documented UFOs captured on video or camera.
Sure he does.
He's a very interesting guy. The documentary actually was very good because the first half showed just his evidence. So it just showed the weird phone calls and the videos. And I was just like, if even 10% of this is true, this guy is leading a life where I would just make love to a gun and pull that trigger because it seems miserable. He's got aliens after him, the government, just everybody. And in UFO circles, his name is way up there with like a Bud Hopkins or a Whitley Strieber. Everybody knows who he is, and people either love him or hate him.
I'm looking him up right now on Wikipedia.
Well, he was arrested a couple of years ago for child porn.
Yeah, stand-up guy.
But he swears that the child porn was part of a conspiracy to, silence him.
Yeah,
who knows?
Okay. I see he admitted to faking something.
He's faked some things. Absolutely. He's got a video of an alien peeking up into a window and blinking, and I was like, that kind of ruins everything that came before.
Well, you know what helps your credibility is when you get caught faking shit.
Always. That's my goal eventually. Since 2008.
I love me some UFO stuff. I mean, I love it. I love alien movies. I like the terrible documentaries. But, God, the fact that some people buy some of this shit these people peddle just scares me.
Yeah. I don't know how much he actually sells. I don't know how much money he's made from them. So I know he's made a lot of misery. But if you like UFOs, check it out. It's on Netflix. It's not costing you a penny. You don't have to get your ass up to go to the movie theater. And it's actually a well put together doc.
What's the name of it again?
Oh my God, you're gonna make it's Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek Story.
Okay.
Or the Extraordinary Stan Romanek.
And that's where he's an abductee watcher and an abductee or whatever.
Yes. It's just cool to see like his UFO videos. I love that stuff. I can eat that up. I can watch.
Yeah, I looked that shit up on YouTube too. Even like the fakest stuff. I'm like, oh, that looks cool.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, the giant UFO around the Eiffel Tower, I don't think is real, but it looks pretty cool.
Might not be. Could be though. Don't be a hater.
That's true. Sorry.
Last but not least, I read 4 books last week. That's what I do when I go to Maine.
Jesus.
I sit in a hammock, I drink, and I read. It's tough stuff. But I did finish Lyle Blackburn's Beyond Boggy Creek, which is a collection of Southern Sasquatch stories. Lyle gets better with every book. He wrote, the Boggy Creek. He wrote the Lizard Man. And this is just, it's a great, if you want all these the best Southern Sasquatch sightings in one book, this is it. And it's got some pictures. I wish there were more.
Okay, so this is not fictional.
It's not
real
fictional.
Accounts. Okay.
Yeah, and he reports it like a reporter, but he's not dry. He's got a real wit to the way he presents these, and he actually goes out.
I loved him on Monster Men, so I will check that out.
Yeah, it's funny. Now I've talked to him so many times. Now when I read him, his voice, it's like he's narrating it in my head. It's kind of cool. He's got a cool Texas twang.
Yeah, he's got a nice drawl.
He does. And then I revisited, like I do every year, Stephen King's Joyland, because to me, that's the best book he ever wrote. It's the only book I've ever read in my life that made me cry. It doesn't make me cry every time. I get a little hitch.
What's it called?
Joyland.
Joyland, okay. It's
about a guy working at a carnival in North Carolina. It's not so much a horror book, and it's Hard Case Crime published it, and it's not really a crime novel. It's kind of in between.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize he did fiction as well.
Try it out, man. Oh, that wasn't Lyle Blackburn. That's Stephen King.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's what I get for commenting in the live stream. Okay, yes, I have read it by Stephen King. Yeah.
I was going to ask you.
I love that.
I was going to say, do you think Cujo is real?
What does he always call people in that? Not the Carnies.
Carney
rubes.
From Carney. Oh, there's all kinds. There's a whole carnival language that he made up, by the way.
Oh, really? That's not real?
Some of it is, but most of it is made up.
Oh, yeah. No, I love that book. Stephen King could write a goddamn romance, and I would probably think it was brilliant.
You will love this book.
I've read it.
Oh, you have read it. All right. Yeah.
I listened to the audiobook. The narrator's fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yep. It's great.
Maybe that's what I do next time. All right. So that's what I did. I also drank about 2 cases of beer, 3 bottles of Skinny Girl margarita, some wine, and some tequila. That's what I did last week.
Holy shit.
I took a whiz and my liver came right out.
You have 6 months to live now after a vacation.
I feel energized. Not really. All right. So here we go. We're at the midpoint now. It's time to jump into our movie. Everybody who's listening to us, watching us, please visit finalguys.com. You can follow us on all our tweets and our Facebookers and our YouTubes and all that. If you go onto YouTube, please rate us, give us a little rating, give us a little review. We dig it. I'm giving free books to people that put reviews on there. That means you, Spence. So wherever you see us, give us a like, share, spread the news, spread the disease. Like
shit. You know what? I'll do what you're doing. If you people go, I've got a couple free books on Amazon. If any of you wants a sequel to one of them for free, if you leave a review, or hell, you just pick out one of my books. I don't give a shit. It can be a novel. But a lot of people get the free book and then they want the sequels for free. I get a lot of emails.
Of course.
I will give you a copy of The Hunger #2 or Asher Benson #2, whatever you want. Just send me a link to your review or tell me what your review is and I'll hook you up.
The Hunger #2 is the shit.
Thanks, man.
I'll just tell you that. Okay, so let's get into today's movie, which I'm going to ask you to explain, because I could explain it in 2 sentences, but
That's
I
what I'm
think you
going to
should
do.
give it justice.
That's why we have Jack do it.
I never heard of this movie until you told me about it last week to watch it. Hounds of Love, a crime drama horror from 2016.
Okay. To sum this movie up, 2 absolutely goddamn crazy people kidnap a teenage girl and semi-torture her. That's what the movie's about.
Holy crap, that's exactly what I was going to say. Almost word for word. That's scary. Great minds.
These people are goddamn nuts.
They are super crazy.
Yeah.
And that guy is super dirty.
Yeah, I guess I could go into a little more just to explain that it's not a boring movie by any means, even though it's simple. But basically, at the beginning, you see this couple has someone else, another girl in their house, and he kills her and disposes of the body. And the wife, I'm guessing wife. Is it ever said wife? Or just girlfriend?
I think it's his. I'm assuming it's his wife.
That's what I assume, but I'm not sure that I ever. Anyway, she's obviously very aware from at the beginning, and then you see the 2 of them go through the process of abducting another girl to do the same thing to her. And the movie to me was as much about the victim trying to escape as it was the bizarre relationship the husband and wife have. And when I say bizarre, these people are so crazy that the things they do, it's obvious the man is manipulating her to an insane degree. And he seems to be the one that gets off on the torture and the killing much more than she does. But I think she might be crazier than him because of her reactions to certain things that happen in the movie and how easily he's able to pacify her by just saying a couple sentences and her whole demeanor will change.
Right. It's now. I should say this movie. It's an Australian movie. It's set in Perth, Australia, and I have found that all movies from down under have interesting looking people. that is no beauty pageant going on down there. They gave the world Mel Gibson and Nicole Kidman. They said fuck you for anybody else.
So what you're saying is it's the high end and the low end.
Exactly. There's no middle. It's either bargain bin.
You've got Hugh Jackman and Hounds of Love.
Oh, I forgot about Hugh Jackman. There you go. Yeah.
My mortal enemy.
That's right. Damn you. I like the dynamic between not the guy and his wife. I like the dynamic between him internally in his own home and externally. Because outside his home, he is a twerp loser that is picked on by other people. He has zero power. So
almost like
everything
most serial killers we've found through history.
Right. Or like most husbands.
Just men.
He gets his power though at home. When he's in his disgusting little home, that's when I guess that's why, and I assume that the kidnapping of girls isn't her idea. I assume it's his idea, and she kind of goes along with it because we find out, I'll tell you, I don't know if this is a spoiler, why she's a broken woman. Do you think it's a spoiler?
Do I think what's a spoiler?
Why she's a broken woman. I mean, there's a specific reason, kind of, I think, why she goes along with him.
I don't think that's a spoiler.
Girls. Because we learn that her own kids have been taken away from her. So she has kind of this longing to have a child in her life, and God knows, I'm sure he's done enough things to bang up her uterus where nothing's coming out of there. So they have to... That's a technical term, by the way.
Well,
OBGYNs use it all the time. Honey, your uterus is just banged up.
Right, he just banged your uterus to death with his giant penis.
Yay, the return of Pinus.
It's been like 6 weeks. No, he definitely has a very serious control over her. But the dynamic is weird, like I said, because there's clearly rules in what they're allowed to do to these girls when they abduct them. He doesn't just start banging them. The wife is very adamant that he does not have sex with these girls, at least when she's not around, as best I can tell. It gets hazy at the end, some of the things they do to them.
Right.
But when she thinks he's in the bathroom with her and she thinks they're doing something, she starts to freak out. And it's really interesting when you see what they have going on between them and what they're going to kill this girl, but some things are just off limits.
I kind of got the feeling that he felt a little something more for this girl than he has for the others.
Yes, I think so.
Maybe it was either it was her looks or she was kind of feisty. Although I got to tell you, I don't think she was. I think she could have done more to get away.
She was a 16-year-old girl. I think she kind of reacted the way a lot of them would react.
She's really like 23.
Well, you don't really want to see some of those scenes with an actual 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, speak for yourself. No, what?
God
damn she was cute. She was actually cute.
Easy there, Romanek.
Oh my God. I mean, I thought it was a pretty cool movie. My thing though, it had to set up, and I come into Down Under movies with this mindset of I am about to watch batshit craziness. We're talking like Wolf Creek and The Loved Ones and House Guest and all that. So that's what I went in thinking I was going to get. And I didn't. And I thought it was, to me, it was a little too straightforward. There were a lot of zigs and zags they could have taken to make it more interesting.
Yeah, there really aren't plot twists or anything in this movie. What you see is what you get. I think the performances of all three of them carry it, though.
Yes. Everyone was spot on. Her mother, I thought, was really good.
Yeah, you mentioned the way they look, too. They play it up at certain points. That these are not winners. They're not... She's naked at one point, looking at her body in the mirror, and it's the kind of thing that it feels like keeps them... I don't know how to describe it. I almost say keeps them where they are in the social status, which also seems like it makes them act out in a certain way. Like almost like she's afraid she's not going to get someone else other than this guy.
Right. Oh yeah, I could see that. Well, she is just she belongs in a battered women's shelter. I mean, she was just a mess of a human being.
For psychos.
For psychos.
Honestly, I feel like I thought by the end of this movie, I thought she was crazier than him. Because I could follow his train of thought at all times. I knew what he wanted, why he wanted it, what he was going to do to get it, how he was going to manipulate her to get it. She was so all over the place in her emotions and her reactions and what she wanted to do, what she didn't want to do, what she wanted to have and what she didn't. She was a mess.
And that's credit to the performance. What's her name? Emma Booth.
She's fantastic.
She is solid in this. And Stephen Curry, who plays John, her husband, boyfriend, whatever, he's good too. Grody little twerp. I wanted to pound his face in.
Oh man. I'll tell you what, I almost watched this with my wife, but I didn't because I just had a feeling reading the description she wasn't going to like this. She doesn't like I mean, I don't like torture stuff either. This movie actually wasn't that bad with the torture stuff. It wasn't like over the top with it or anything, but I thought it might be. Thank Christ. And this isn't too much of a spoiler, but it's probably a good warning for those of you who want to watch this. There is a scene with a dog in this that if you are an animal lover, you're going to be pissed. Pissed.
When I saw that, I said, wow, I can't believe they did that. But meanwhile, we can kill people with abandon.
I have this discussion with my wife all the time. If she hears that sound a dog makes when it's hurt, that whimper yelp thing, she hates the movie. If you kill a dog in a movie, fuck you. That's basically her position. But we just saw somebody get disemboweled, and then hung up by their intestines from a tree. Whatever, they deserved it. That poor dog, though.
Right. You know what? My wife's the same way. Don't kill a dog, any animal. But then if there's a kid, you know what she always says? Oh, I hope that kid dies. Wouldn't that be great if that kid just gets his throat cut? I'm like, what is the matter with you?
Maybe our wives are the crazy ones, too.
Seriously. I wrote Torches to the Dam, and she goes, you better kill those kids.
Damn.
I was like, what's the matter with you?
But yeah, if you're one of those people who just It seems to really be dogs. Animals people get upset over, but dogs are what people really get upset over.
Yeah.
You're going to be super pissed at one scene. It is not graphic, but it
Thank
is
God.
disturbing. If it had been graphic, it would have probably bothered me because the way they cut it and everything was disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll if you watch it, you'll know when it's coming. It's pretty well telegraphed.
Oh yeah, you know about 30 seconds before it happens.
Just
Start fast forwarding.
exactly. So should we get into some spoilers on this sucker?
Yeah,
Oh wait, what do you? Oh wait, before I go there, did you like it overall?
Yes, I did. Absolutely.
All right, I did too. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would, but that's my own preconceived shit coming into it.
Yeah, man. No, I thought it was a good movie. If you like horror, this is a must-watch. Not for everybody, but for horror fans.
Yeah, true horror fans will really dig this movie. Now, we're going to get into some stuff you don't want to hear if you haven't watched it yet, so bail and come back and then rate us, BonoGuys.com. Let me throw something out. This movie is set in 1987. Why?
Probably so you don't have to have cell phones and tracking and shit like that and cameras on every house.
Because usually when you set a movie in the past becomes part of the story. Like there's something about it that there wasn't even like real cool music or real clothes. Oh, that's 80s clothes.
Yeah, I don't think they had the budget for that, to be honest.
That was
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe that's why, just to simplify it. I don't know.
That was a pet peeve of mine because I'm going, 1987. That was like prime time for me. I know all about that decade.
So with all the apparently ugly people in Australia, is it also a time warp? Are they 30 years behind us? I love Australia, people. I'm kidding.
My God.
Jack's not here. I have to shit on something.
Send your letters to jasonbrant@gmail.com.
Yes, send it to that address. It will get to me. That's totally my email address.
I will absolutely read everything.
Please don't hack my accounts.
But yeah, seriously, I kept waiting for some kind of 80s reference in there, and it never came. I'm going,
it never occurred to me why it was set there, but it had also never bothered me where I saw something that didn't belong. Sometimes you'll see there's an FJ Cruiser on the sidewalk. This is supposed to be in 78,
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, all right. Yeah, that was my one pet peeve with the movie. I thought the direction was really cool.
So, what did you think about the way it ended with the girl? Did you think she was going to live, particularly at that one sequence where they made it seem like she was gone? Did you think that was it?
When she was in the driveway?
No. So when they both go in the room and they have their little carrying case, their rape case or whatever, and it kind of does a fade to black thing, and then you see the guy driving out into the woods and he's digging a hole, and the girl's washing the sheets and her clothes, and the woman is washing the girl's stuff. Did you think she was dead?
Did. Because that's where I go anyway.
It's not a Hunter Shea book.
She's dead. No.
Do you think it would have been better if she had died?
Oh my God. That's a good question. I think but that's my personal thing. Yes. To me, the more bleak something is, the better. That's why, whenever I feel down in the dumps, I put in Megan is Missing and just laugh and laugh and laugh.
Oh, God. The less we bring that movie up, the better.
That's twice now in 10 episodes.
Yeah. You people want to be depressed, watch that. I don't really go one way or the other. To me, it kind of depends movie on movie. Sometimes I like for somebody to survive. Sometimes. So I liked the arc of the wife in this, deciding to fight back, because I'd liked her story throughout. If it hadn't been as well acted as it was, if there hadn't been the weird nuances in her character, I don't think I would have liked it as much. But at the same time, I do wonder if this movie would have been more memorable if the girl had died, and then maybe the parents find where she was.
Right.
If that would have made it more intense and more emotional at the end. Not that I disliked it, but I remember thinking at the time, because they shot it and edited it in such a way that you really didn't know if she was alive or dead.
Right.
And I wonder if it would have been crazier at the end if she'd been dead.
when I think about it, because to me, as soon as she gets kidnapped, I know that the woman's going to let her go. To me, that was just in neon letters. This couple is dysfunctional. She's got jealousy issues. She's got issues with children and stuff. She's going to form some kind of bond or whatever, and she's going to let her go. So if it would be cool if she kills her husband, boyfriend, with the intent to let her go, and then when it's her time to go and get the girl out, she finds her dead. So her redemption is too late. That, I think, would have been really cool.
That would have been interesting, yeah. No, you're right. The movie really goes exactly where you expect it to go. Pretty much beat for beat, everything. First of all, I saw a dog in a horror movie. I'm like, well, he's fucking dead. I actually put a dog, I'm not going to say which one, but I put a dog in one of my books and didn't kill it just to prove that it can be done in a horror book.
Dogs don't have to die.
It's such a cheap shot. It works in this movie really well, but normally I just find it cheesy and stupid.
Right.
All you're trying to do is piss off half the audience, all the females that's all you're trying to do. But
hey, do it like The Hills Have Eyes, where you kill one dog and let the other live.
The Hills Have Eyes. Oh, God. Yeah, I really thought this is exactly like you said. It's pretty much beat for beat what you expect from the beginning. And I don't know, maybe it's a testament to how well the movie's made that I still enjoyed it. That there weren't really many surprises, but I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's to me. There were no surprises, but it was so well crafted and the acting was so spot on. And I think Australian and New Zealand movies get it so right, and their horror is more palpable because they don't have pretty people. They have people that look like the guy next door to you. You know what I mean? They just look like regular people. Go to the supermarket. Most people are freaking ugly as sin. And it just feels like, oh yeah.
I'm going to be watching our statistics after this episode of the next one. Australia listeners, 0.
No. Look, American movies can do it. Anybody can do this. Anyone can put regular looking dumpy people in a movie. In America, we can't help ourselves. We're so busy stroking ourselves to every pretty young thing, male or female, that we have to put them in there. I think horror movies work best when you have regular looking people, or again, back to Hills Have Eyes, really strange looking people like Michael Berryman, where there's no makeup on that guy. He is what he is.
Michael Berryman's the best.
I've met him. He is straight up scary.
I did too. I think he's from Pittsburgh, if I recall.
That makes sense.
Hey, man. What are you trying to say?
I think The Pirates is great.
Yeah, this movie, I think it could have done with a twist or two in there that really would have made it that we're telling everyone about this. And we're going to tell everyone to watch it anyway, but I don't know that I would recommend this to the... This reminds me of something I was tweeted. When I call people normies, that is not an insult. That means you're not a fucking weirdo like I am. So
exactly.
That's not a dig at someone else. That's a dig at myself. So would I show this? Pride. Would I tell a normie to watch this? I don't know, because it's just dark and gloomy and kind of by the numbers. It's something perfect for us. It's something perfect for our audience. But would I tell my dad to go watch this? I don't know.
You know what? My mother would like this. She's a normie. I think normies might like it because it's not too crazy.
The dog thing, though, man.
There's a comfortable ride. Yeah, the dog thing, if you go past, but once you get past that, it's like you go on the roller coaster, I'm going to go up this hill, down this hill, here's a loop, I'm out. And this kind of, you can see the entire roller coaster the minute you start watching this movie, and you enjoy the ride.
Well, you're definitely right that the tame-ish ending is much better for a regular audience.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you might be onto something. Would it be more memorable for horror fans like The Mist if you just go balls deep on the ending? Probably. Because everyone I know really likes The Mist, but that ending is what makes them just freak out.
Oh, so many people I know won't watch it again because they're like, that stupid ending. I'm like, that ending is brilliant.
Utter brilliance. How they made it darker than the freaking novella, I didn't think was possible, but they did it.
Yeah, he definitely... He managed it. I think if you put even one twist in there. Just give me something, hit me left when I'm looking right. This would made my top 10 list of the year. But I think because that didn't happen to me, I mean, it's a really good movie. I definitely suggest people watch it, but it's not going to be one of my top movies.
I 100% agree. Well, I guess we should just do our ratings then, right?
Do a rating. How would you watch it?
I wouldn't if it's not in the theaters, so I can't really recommend that. But if it was, I don't think I'd recommend you go to see this in the theaters. It would be worth a rental. It is definitely worth checking out on Netflix or Shudder or Prime or something like that. It's a solid, good movie, but I'm 100% agree with you that when you start watching it, what you expect to happen is exactly what's going to happen. And honestly, it's like we've said, the fact that I still enjoyed this says a lot about the movie itself. But one or two twists in there, and this is right up there.
Exactly. I feel the same way. And look, it's on Amazon right now. I don't know if it was on Prime. I think I bought it. I had to rent it or whatever for like $5 or something.
Yeah, I think I rented it, not Prime.
No regrets. I enjoyed it. So, look, if you went to a theater, if by me it costs like $50 to go to a theater with one other person, no, don't do that. But enjoy it on streaming wherever you can find it. It's cool.
I wonder if this will come to Shudder sometime soon. And when the hell is Shudder going to sponsor us?
Yeah, really.
This is getting crazy.
I'm going to contact them tomorrow.
Yeah, seriously.
You all need to talk about us at finalguys.com and spread the word, and then start tweeting out to Shudder that these guys are talking about you and promoting you all the time.
Yes. Give us money.
Final Guys Army.
Oh, is that what it is? The Final Guys Army?
Yes. Everyone has to dress like Peter Criss. Before we leave, want to hear a Peter Criss story?
That
involves Jack? Jack is a huge Kiss fan. Enormous. I was a Kiss fan in 1976. From June to September.
Back when you were,
I was
what were you, like 47, 48?
Around there. A mere babe in arms in middle age. Jack and I went to Chiller Theater Convention, and Peter Criss was performing there, and he was in his own separate room, and there was this long-ass line to wait to see him. And Jack and I waited, had some cocktails, and we finally get into the room, and I remember somehow I got a little bit ahead of Jack, and I went up, and you can't not go past Peter Criss sitting there at the table, all smiles and everything. And, you know, he could autograph a drumstick for like $75 or whatever. And he goes, "Hey, man," he goes, "what would you like autograph?" And I literally go, "Look, I'm not a big Kiss fan, but he likes you a lot." I thought he was going to hit me in the head with a drumstick. Like, you can't even fake that you like Kiss? I'm like, nah, I'm not a big Kiss fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of not cool of you.
No, that was totally being a jerk. And now that I'm on that side of the table, if someone did that to me, I would make a voodoo doll of them and hurt them.
Like, you piece of shit. Couldn't even lie to my face.
Yeah. So take a picture of that guy. Let's make the doll and stick pins in his pancreas.
You'd have written him into a book and he'd be getting stomped like that dog in Hounds of Love.
I've killed so many people in my books that just irritate me. Including any ex-boyfriend of my daughter.
I haven't done that. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah. And I write a lot of people I know into my books, but I don't know that I've ever horribly killed one of them that pissed me off.
Oh, my God. I kill them all. Any boy that breaks up with my daughters, he gets in the book, and I just brutalize him.
You put his full name and address in it.
It's the only way I can get back at him. Oh, my God. Okay, I think we've done enough this week. We're sorry to pollute your ear holes with our stupidity and nonsense, but hey, that's why you're here. That's why we're here. So, once again...
How much better was this without Jack?
This was awesome. I swear to God, I have had an erection for an hour. And no Viagra today. I might go to the hospital and get this checked out later. Or ask my cat to suck out the poison.
What are we watching next week, my man?
Oh, I forgot. Next week is a throwback episode. We are going to watch and review Night of the Creeps. The classic movie from, like, was it 88, 86, right around there?
Sure. When was the last time you watched that?
Last year at the Alamo Theater with my daughter. Took her to see it. So her first experience was in a theater, and she was over the moon.
This is such a fun movie. I'm so excited.
It thrilled
Thrill
her.
me.
Thrill me. So that's next week, Night of the Creeps. So tune in. We'll be here Tuesday, as always, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Some version of us, maybe all three, although you can take vacation next week if you want.
Yeah, but then I'd have to teach you guys how to do the live stream and shit, and then I wouldn't get to watch Night of the Creeps.
Yeah, don't take vacation then. You're good. But Jack
It's
will
so
be here next week.
complicated.
I'm sure it is. I don't want to try to figure this out.
Yeah, it's not. It's like 4 clicks.
I go as far as 3.
Oh,
4.
all right.
I'm out at 3.
I'll be here.
All right, everybody. So tune in next week. FinalGuys.com. Love us like we love you.
Peace on the streets.
Baby.
Screw you, Jack.
Minus.
See ya.